Welcome back. Today I'm taking you through Essential Elements, page 6. This covers exercises 14 through 19. So at this point we've learned our first 5 notes. We've learned F, E flat, D, C, and B flat. So on this page we're just going to keep reviewing those notes and make sure that we really feel comfortable moving through everything. So remember, we should still be doing all of our long tones on all of those notes before we start playing, just to make sure everything is working the way we want. Review that balance with yourself to make sure that everything is lined up the way it should, that that right hand thumb is pushing into the left hand index finger, that the rods here are pointed more at the ceiling than at the wall behind us, that we've got this great open space here. We're not too squished back here, but everything is kind of floating away. You'll notice the elbows are a little elevated and floating away from the body, and that's perfect. Remember, as we're looking at the stand, that the legs should also be facing off slightly in this direction, so off toward your right. And then we're able to look back easily at the music stand when we've got that nice open position with our arms. Okay, so basic review again. If you need a refresher, go back to that very first getting started video. All right, so we'll start with number 14. So here we start with a D, C, B flat, C, D. And as we're doing this, I want you to notice if we're moving in stepwise motion, meaning we're moving directly from one note to the note that's immediately below it. You can think of this as the note that comes before or after it in the alphabet, or if we're skipping around. So sometimes there will be big skips and sometimes there are little steps. So just pay attention to those relationships as we go. So let's start at the top of this page. This is number 14. We're going to get a great breath before we start this, thinking that nice relaxed Hawaii breath, and tempo about like this. 1 and 2 and ready. Good, so that's probably the longest one we've seen to that point. Now, what was that tune? It says, "Merrily we roll along," but what do you know it as? "Mary had a little lamb." Exactly, good. So something familiar like that makes it a lot easier for us to make it into an actual song. You'll notice when I'm playing, I'm really connecting the notes from one to the next because we want to make sure that we're using really great air. So let's try that one more time, thinking of just really connecting all of those notes rather than spacing them apart. Remember also that we can separate the notes by thinking do, do, do. So just that light D tongue toward the front of our mouth will separate those repeated notes, but keep that air nice and constant. So 14, one more time. Good, so much easier that time, right? So the next exercise here is a rhythm exercise. So let's try this. For this one, make sure you've got somewhere safe that you can set your instrument. So I'm going to set it over here on a little table that I've got off to the side. And then we're going to clap the rhythm while we're counting, okay? You can also tap your foot if you want to do it that way. This is cool. Rhythm is such an important part of what we do that we want to make sure that it feels really solid and really secure right away, okay? So we're going to go about 1, 2, ready, clap. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and rest, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 then I would go back and repeat that again. So make sure that you understand those differences. Before we had just been talking about quarter notes, and now we're adding half notes. So half notes get 2 beats, whereas a quarter note was just getting 1. So it's twice as long as what we're used to. But I think that rhythm exercise really helps to put it into perspective. So I'm going to pick up my flute again. And then we're going to start with number 16, which is playing through everything with the different notes that we've done. So B flat to C, D to E flat, then F, E flat, D, C, B flat. Okay? So go through that slowly for yourself first, and then we'll go ahead and jump right in here. So about that same tempo, 1 and 2 and ready. When we're moving stepwise, which is most of the exercise, we're not really skipping around here at all, so that makes it a lot easier, okay? So just reviewing that D, C, B flat, and this has a friendly reminder to check your embouchure in hand position. So the embouchure, remember, we're staying in that nice ooh shape, and sometimes I'll tell my students just think of like a bulldog face, so nice and relaxed and everything is kind of droopy, okay? So number 17, cross bones. Get that nice alignment, sitting nice and tall, feet on the ground in front of you. Alright, so 1 and 2 and breathe. Maybe a little bit quicker so it sounds more like the actual tune, okay? So, 1, 2, 3. Nice and simple. Good. All right, so that brings us to number 18. Again, this is just reviewing those same 5 notes that we've done before. Really in this one, notice where you have those steps versus those skips, okay? Also notice that you've got a new thing in here, which is a breath mark. So that's an indication that that's a point where we should breathe in and restart the phrase, okay? So let's pay attention to all of those things. We'll go about 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, okay? So 1, 2, nice and tall, ready. Repeat. Great job. So then the final thing on this page is actually a quiz. So it's asking you to write in the notes and the durations in your staff here. So make sure you do that. I'm sure your teacher is asking you to do these assignments as well. It's just a really good, easy review of what everything is and good practice for knowing how to write out that notation. Just a hint, look back at number 17 on this page if you have any questions about where that stem, so the line that comes from the note head should be going, which side of the note it goes on, all of that good stuff. So that is page 6. Great job on working your way through that. I'll see you next time for page 7.